Hey guys, Anthony here. Video today, it's Friday, April 26th, 2024. I'm going to link a few articles in the description box for you to read, and I'm going to talk about something that went on back in the March or the 2013 year when Barack Obama was president. But I just want to talk about a little bit about this country today and the direction that we seem to be heading as a country, as a nation. And in talking to people, had a chance to talk to some relatives recently that I hadn't seen in a while, and we just briefly got to talking about current events. And I asked some questions. Some questions were asked to me regarding readiness and do you have this or that, when it came to like power backup, solar power, battery backup. That's why if you see a lot of my social media lately and also my YouTube posts, you'll see some short videos and some longer videos talking about having backup in order to generate some power for yourself in the event of a grid down situation. And that is something I've always took part in, but in recent months and years, the last few years, I've taken it very seriously and have upped my game in the solar panel acquisitions, whether it's hard panels, the glass panels, monocrystalline panels, or folding panels. I want both because there's applications for both of those, and I want enough battery backup to handle what I think I need in an extended period of outage. And so I had, in talking to these people or this family members, they seem to think that sending billions of dollars over to Ukraine, Taiwan, Israel, or Palestine, to that region of the world, while our borders are wide open, it seems to be a good policy, which is something to that effect that they said. We got to help our allies, is what I heard. But at the same time, I responded that our borders, the southern border in particular, are wide open, not including the borders of the sky, of which there is no borders, where planes have been flying, jumbo jets have been flying for months, if not years, bringing in people from all over the world who we don't know who they are, what diseases they have, what backgrounds they have, and the like. And then the southern border being infiltrated for the past 4 years, four plus years, with millions of undocumented migrants, most of which are military-age men, which is documented and provable. People's responses, or some people's response to me is, well, America needs, workers or people. And it just boggles my mind. And they even bring up, Ellis Island and, the migrations that our ancestors made here back in those days, where they came through from, Italy, for instance. In my family's case, they came from Italy to Ellis Island. I said, yeah, but they were stopped there, documented, TB tested, and other disease tested. It wasn't just, hey, they walked over the border or landed on the shore on a boat and ran into the interior of the country without anybody knowing who they are or what they were here for. Big difference. Big difference. You can't even bring that up as a comparison to what has been taking place. And then we see it in our cities and towns, especially in the bigger cities like New York City, Chicago, Illinois, California, San Francisco, Colorado, another one. And there's going to be more cities in Texas and the like. We see those cities about to be overrun, about to be taken over by this population, illegal migrant population. And so I believe that the very fabric of America, our country, as we knew it, is being changed forever. It's being changed on purpose forever by our leaders. Have a big part in this, both sides of the aisle. So I'm not on any one side of the aisle. I'm not talking about any one side of the aisle. I'm talking about both sides of the aisle, in the middle, the left, and the right, are complicit in this takedown of America, I believe. And it's happening physically, and it's happening spiritually, because the programs and the operations and the laws that they're passing and suggesting to pass are antithetical to being Christian. Let's put it that way. But I wanted to mention that first. I believe these are lawless acts that are taking place by rogue government officials, and America, much of America, seems to be, sitting down, waiting. Hey, there's going to be a change in the next election. We've always gone through this kind of stuff. It's just cycles. We go through good times and bad times. Inflation's high, and this and that. And I try to make the case to these people that this is unprecedented, what we're going through these last 4 years. It's unprecedented in our history. It's unprecedented. The money being printed, the inflation that we're having, the attacks on our infrastructure that have been taking place, that are looked over, not covered, or called accidents or mishaps, or these things happen. Trains always derail, boats always crash into piers and bridges, poultry factories and other food processing plants always spontaneously light on fire and burn down. Coal power plants and oil refineries always blow up and burn. Tire recycle plants always blow up and burn. It's just common everyday stuff that happens. It's just the price of doing business, the cost of doing business. Well, a case can be made for deliberate acts of sabotage, deliberate acts of backing of protesters, like happened in 2020, happening now on college campuses, and spreading like gangrene across the country, pushing a narrative, getting ready for the next season that's going to take place, or the next big thing that's going to happen. So I believe we are in for a big ride soon, weeks, months, definitely something big, possibly this year before the election, can happen to trigger World War III. And you see it. It's not being hidden. All you have to do is be out there looking around at what's happening and see where we are headed. And also, you don't really have to. You could hear it from FBI director, who said it multiple times, that we're in for some kind of big attack, or there's chatter from the different intelligence agencies similar to what was happening back in before 9/11. So are we headed for some type of 9/11 event this year? I don't know. I hope not. I pray not. But to the main topic of this video, I wanted to preface it with the trouble that we're in right now. The trouble economically, medically, spiritually, on all fronts. We're in trouble. And we're not going to buy our way out of it, ignore our way out of it. You could put your head in the sand. You're not going to ignore your way out of it. It's going to affect each and every one of us. Weaponization of federal agencies against the people. That's what's happening. All the while wanting to take away First and Second Amendment rights. Okay. So back in 2013, if you guys remember, and if you're old enough to remember, Barack Obama was in his second term, I believe, And during that term, he commissioned that billions of rounds of ammunition. I think most of it was 9mm. A lot of it was 9mm. I think it was nearly 2 billion rounds. The posts I'm going to put in there state were commissioned, and the DHS department, I guess, handled the acquisition, distribution of this said ammo, which was enough to fight 3 Iraqi wars. That's 27 years of war. Enough to shoot each and every person in America 5 times. Commissioned by DHS, an internal organization, not a warfighting group, not part of the military, an internal. And you remember that Obama, in one of his speeches, talked about a domestic army that the president controls, or that's controlled internally by the executive branch. So you remember those speeches, I hope, and these articles will refresh your memory in case you're forgetting. So why was this ammo commissioned? Now, looking back, we'll talk about that. Looking back now, asking these questions, I think I could have some pretty good answers as to why it was commissioned. Why was this ammo commissioned? I could probably give some good answers to that, which I won't in this video. You could tell me in the comment section what you think. Where did all the ammo go? Was it for target practice? 27 years worth of ammo for government agencies, many of which at the time did not carry weapons, but now they do. 200 agencies now all carry weapons and have been weaponized. Where before it was only the agencies, the law enforcement wings of the government, FBI, DEA, stuff like that. Now you got other parts of the government that never carried guns now carrying guns and being issued weapons. So you have what I've researched is nearly, just with those agencies alone, is about 280 to 200,000 men and women armed internally by the government. Who is overseeing the safekeeping and or distribution of this ammo? Who will this ammo be distributed to, or who will have access to it? And that goes back to the second question, where did all the ammo go? Where is it? Is it separated throughout the United States in storehouses? Is it buried? Is it, in a like a military base and an ammo depot? What event will trigger the use of this ammo? Or events will trigger the use of this ammo? And again, as I've said, these bullets can shoot every American 5 times the amount of bullets. I think it's 1.7 billion rounds. And in one of the articles that I'm going to include in the description, Frank Miniter in Forbes magazine talks about using that DHS using roughly 1,000 rounds of ammunition per person than the U.S. Army. Why is DHS using more ammunition than the U.S. Army? The Army is who's supposed to fight for us. Yet DHS is using more ammo. I think the Army uses around 350 rounds per person. Maybe somebody can answer. Maybe I'm just, getting some steam off my chest, but this worries me. DHS bought more than 103 million rounds in 2012 and used 116 million that same year for about 70,000 public employees. DHS used 1,300 to 1,600 rounds per person, while the U.S. Army goes through 350 rounds annually per soldier. So just let this resonate with you today. I know it's a Friday, but I wanted to make this video to kind of see, like it's like being on a sailboat that's lost its rudder, but now it seems to be getting on course and things seem to be coming in clearer. The coast is clear. We can see the coast and we're headed for it. Because I think I know where a lot of this ammo may end up. And it's not in the hands of our fighting men and women that will use it for, self-defense or to fight for the country. There are many nefarious things that can happen based on the beginning of this video while I was talking about illegal military-age men being let into the country and being distributed all over the country, being given money and cell phones and dental work and medical checkups. So let me know in the comments section what you think, okay? I'll put the links in the description box. Anthony signing off. Stay ready.